This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for, October 4th, 2022. Time is a-flying. Hopefully you're doing well. Congratulations, nailed this pop potential, trading a few names that are acting really well. Started some solar shorts, really getting into some things here, rolling out some of my calls to lower my risk. Just, again, trading to be safe, not expecting a monster upside move, but there is upside, as we've talked about, because we talked about it being oversold, seasonality, first of the quarter, month, whatever. All these factors that pull the market up. Near term, I expect this week to be an up week, next week a chop week, and OPEX to be the top. Please take notes as we're going through this because I think you're going to see how a lot of this will line up. It makes sense. And again, the goal isn't to necessarily get crazy rich during a bear market, which you can't make a lot of money. It's the setup for the commodities bull market that's coming. That's what really has me the most excited. I think we're in the final birthing pains, maybe weeks, maybe months. Just depends on what happens in the market. But the capitulation that will follow after this next pop and chop action probably should lead to the big smash, which the big smash comes, I think you might see commodities hold up really well. And if commodities hold up really well, it's showing you again, leadership is rotating. If you own tech for the long term and you do not know what the 2000s was like in trading tech, it was absolute burn, dog junk. You didn't want to hold that stuff. It did not perform. If you're not sure, check out my video called Who Wins the Tech War? And the answer is commodities, if you do the homework. So let's jump into it. Appreciate the love, support, donations. And again, I mean, if you want to be involved in the Discord room, I have it shut off now. Please let me know. Again, people who donate, leave comments, like stuff, like show their involvement. Again, when I say donate, it doesn't even have to be much. Just showing that they're interested in learning and following. When the teacher's ready, the student appears. Again, this is about building a group of traders that ultimately can dominate because they know how the markets work. 20 eyes, 30 eyes, 50 pairs of eyes, 100 pairs of eyes on the market is better than just one. I love sharing it because I know I don't fear competition. I fear abundance. I don't fear it. I enjoy abundance because I think everybody who helps out learning will do benefit. And they'll benefit the group. So, Bitcoin, talked about it. Holds. It's good. Got to get over this to fail, or to, if you're a bear, you need to get, that's your stop up here. It's really just range bound. It kind of looks like the market, unfortunately, just chopping around. Oil, we talked about it, holding the 76 level. Here you go, first major resistance, not just updating the charts just to be a front runner or a hindsight 2020 or armchair quarterback kind of guy. This wedge, again, it's not that strong, only 3 points. I mean, you could draw this many ways. Here's another way I can see it. Lots of ways. And again, ultimately, support equals resistance is the most important, I would say, as you guys know who follow, support equals resistance, the volume at price zones, all the things that I would say dictate the actual action line up with what? Somewhere around 92. That seems obvious, Chopped here, bounce there, bounce there. Bounce there, bounce over it, failed. Bounce over it, failed. Bounce over it, failed. Multiple action. Now, again, please don't bring a ruler to trading, but that's the approximation, is my guess, somewhere in the low 90s. Just call it what it is. All right, let's jump into it. I need to get the dollar to pop up for you, my friends. The dollar. Talked about it being what? Near term topping. Near term, not long term, near term. Monthly, still probably going to scream higher at some point. The Feds have not pivoted. They have not announced a pivot. The higher the market goes, the more likely they won't pivot. That's the irony of this. I keep telling people that's the problem here. You want the market to tank out to get the Feds to absolutely commit to pivoting. At this point, they are absolutely not committed to pivoting. Keep that in mind, okay? So if you see the market as is right now with the dollar, here is some support near term. Not surprised. Here, let me draw a little linea for you. Not surprised it bounces right there. Ultimately, I think it probably comes back down into 29s. It could happen quick, right? So be safe. Know your limits. Know your risks. TLT. This is why we got out of the bonds. It stopped me out. You had to trade here. If the market goes lower, I think yields, it's going to get tricky because this is where this is different from the 2000s, is that bonds and stocks are selling off at the same approximate percentages. So you got to know that, all right, if bonds are going to go higher, it's really this simple, right? What? They need to start diverging from the market. You need to see bonds to start rising more than the market. Right now, they're not really. That's my biggest concern. Again, take notes of this stuff. Like, if the market is ripping and bonds are lagging, something's going on here. The VIX talked about this Friday. Look at that market action. The market made a new low. The VIX did not confirm it. It just dojied. Of course, now we pop. Little hammer today. Again, I think it's not surprising that it held this, I don't know, 28, whatever. I mean, don't bring a ruler. Close enough. But I still think at some point it probably does go lower. First of the month, first of the quarter, new money coming in, IRAs, pensions, institutions, putting money to work. Your retirement going into the market, sadly. I mean, that's what's going on here. So if you're not familiar with this action, I don't know what to tell you other than, hey, it is what it is. It's been trying to explain this for months. If you're new to the channel, please check out the content. I mean, it really is trying to forewarn people, okay? I mean, again, it's anticipating the move. I tell people, the biggest money is anticipating the moves. Talked about if the VIX didn't break out, and it doesn't look like it if you study the past. Like, even in 2008, you had this, like, pop, flop, then move up in the VIX. This feels like the pop, flop, then the big pop and the VIX are coming. Probably sometime during October, mid-October, probably OPEX if I had to guess, unless the news changes. The news. Yeah. Bear trap. The definition, again, if you want to know more about bear traps, on my channel, bull and bear traps, explanation. Make a slightly lower low, close at the lows, zing pow. God, man, it's almost... And then people are like, oh, you were bullish earlier. Yeah, and I got stopped out. But this is what I anticipated happening. I was trying to explain to you, like, you got too bearish too quickly. The best market moves anticipate what? People being out of position, right? Everyone's shorting. Apple short interest use, Tesla, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's buying puts, put-call ratios insanely high. I mean, just go look at all the factors going into this. Not surprised that we are squeezing. My near-term target's 280s. Could we pull up a 395er? Always possible. Look at the volume at price zones, right? Like, that's your targets. If we get up there quickly, chop, watch what happens. Maybe it could take a run up there. If we get up there and pause, not surprised. Again, I still think the VIX could drop into the low 20s. That would be wild. But that's how you would unwind all of the, incredibly bearish action before then it goes lower. Hope that makes sense. Meaning market going lower. Like, you need the pop. Even in downtrends, talk about it. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce. Here, look at this stuff in like previous we've been in a bear market. Don't let anyone tell you we haven't been. The bounce, the bounce, the bounce, the bounce, the bounce, the bounce, ding, 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 ding. Sorry, just being stupid, but you get what I'm saying here. And especially at the end of the month, new quarter, new money coming in. Someone accumulated a ton of inventory on Friday. They probably needed to unload. To unload onto who? Chasers. The best advertisement for higher prices is, as I always say, higher prices. That's what it is. Like, think about it. People won't buy at the lows. They always buy the highs. Oh, it's going higher. It's time to buy it so comfortably. No. QQQs talked about this. Bouncing, made the bear trapper. Because, again, we're going to talk about how we saw the market was going to... We thought why the market was going to bounce. Bear trap. Here's your first resistance. 290s. That's my guess. Maybe we get stuck here because tech lags. Keep that in mind. I keep saying this, lag versus lead. Pay attention to that because maybe tech lags, probably will. IWM, strong like bull. Notice on Friday, here's things that aren't bearish. Here you go. It was not confirming the lows. Boop, pops up, hits a 20-day. Basically the first resistance zone. Sorry, getting close enough. That would be my guess. Near term. Now what? Don't be surprised. If it could pop up, I mean, let's redraw this because it looks pretty tight there. I don't know if we'll get up into the 180s, like the upper 180s. But if previous resistance holds the 50-day, right? Let's just put it right there. Let's move it to the 50-day. Let me change it. Target. Remember, just go zoom to the left. I always have, when in doubt, zoom back to the left. Last counter move, off the lows, the 50-day. Could it get a 100-day? I don't know. Maybe it's a hundo. Just be aware. Moving averages. Probably going to be there. That's all I'm going to say. In the sense that, please don't. I mean, I'm getting so many deals. Dude, you're crazy. You got to short the heck out of this. I know. Not now. Not now. Please, not now. Gold. Closed all my gold positions today. Hit the 50-day. Hit 160. Now, could it go higher? Potentially. I just don't care to be around for that. I just don't. I've said this a bazillion times. Everybody had to be wrong to capitulate. I still like this zone right here down in the 140s. Let me zoom out over. Upper 140s. That would be my target. Keep in mind, this is not unusual for gold to rally, pop, play the game, right? Like, please don't act like that. We said trap. Said once you broke the trend line, it was a trap. Probably going to bounce. Now you bounced. 50-day. Could it go a little higher like it did here? Yeah, I think there's better opportunities maybe to short solar, play some nat gas stuff for the pop here. Move to cash just to be safe. What if we're all wrong? What if I'm dead freaking wrong? That's my biggest always concern. Like, how do you play it if you're wrong? I like it long term. I showed you guys and gals long term the very obvious Coupa y handle. Here you go. This is your downside max somewhere in the upper 140s. And then we go the higher. The arrow points to the upside. We'll get there. Not in a week. Not in a day. Silver. Things that, again, it's gold and silver. Remember, down when the market was going. Down. Holding up. Little head and shoulders. You can see it there. Left shoulder. Here. But again, I think what's going to happen ultimately, just like it always does. Sorry, you're looking at the monthly. Again, let me just start there real quick. Monthly. Best time to buy gold when the Fed pivots. Pow! And then it rips up. Best time to buy when the Fed pivots. Pow! Right? You like all the sounds? Give a thumbs up for that. No, I mean, here you go. Left shoulder. Let me finish drawing. There's your little cabeza. Here's your other, what's shoulder in Spanish? Brazo or something? Maybe, whatever. Doesn't matter. Here you go. Bounces up. Take profits. The more you're up, less you own. Now, if you're expecting the big long-term bull market, I'm trying to tell you the best time to play gold and silver will win the Fed pivots. And I'm telling you, the higher the market rolls up, less likely the Feds are going to what? Pivot. Just be aware. GDX. Hate the long, big caps. But here we go. Popped up. 26s. Went a little higher. I mean, I honestly thought, let me draw it exactly. That was probably the max upside. You can see why. Go look at the 100-month. Show you. It's coming up to the 100-month off the lows. Pretty typical when you hit a big moving average. You can bounce off of it. You can chop off of it. This one particularly, we'll see what happens here. I mean, it's a big area. It could continue higher, no doubt. I just don't anticipate it if history repeats and you're a probability-based trader. That's all, okay? You got to be probability-based, okay? And in that note, hold on. You just got to, I don't know how to explain it other than don't believe in certainty. Don't believe that the markets, I love this stuff long-term. I mean, I'm getting so excited about commodity bull market because I've lived through the past. I lived it. It just takes birthing pains. It gets real choppy and sloppy. Then it goes. Doesn't turn in like a week. The bottoms take time. GDXJ took all my profit today at 31.50. Probably a little early. Ran up, retested the highs. Whatever. Easy money's done. Love the stuff long term. Let it pull back. AG. We said 8s and 9s on this bounce. I'll guess the high. 894. I would I would be taking profit. People are going to yell at me and be like, oh, this is the start of the big move. And it's like, no, if history repeats, it's not. Love this one long term. Volume at price at the low. Retest. Watch the 36, 38 level. 100-day, it's hitting, backing off. Not surprised. Newmont, such a laggard piece of junk. Leave it alone. But even it was rallying, as it should, because miners were rallying. Let's roll through these fast. PAAS, 100-day, 50-day. Look, it does this. It tries to get over 50-day, backs off. Keep an eye on this stuff. Now, again, long term, please. I mean, if you bought it and you disappear for 6 months, you'll probably be all right. But don't be surprised. Like, I try to show people the past. Like, if you don't know what happened in 2008 with these names, I mean, they absolutely got beaten to a pulp. I mean, $9 from 44. That's what happens with what? When the volatility spikes, everybody, like, pukes. And again, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. Say that all the time. Baby out with the bathwater. Baby out with the bathwater. Shampoo better. Nah, but that's what's up. So please be safe. Like, I don't think the final bottom is in. But if you're a trader, then that means you got to take your money. If you're a long-term person and you got near the lows, good luck. Just make sure you're not. It could get ugly. Just don't watch. AMD talked about things that aren't bearish. Look at Friday's action. Doji pops back. Maybe get up into the 70s. Again, I mean, all these things are going to lag. I have no desire to long tech. I'd rather tech rise so I can short the absolute bejesus out of it. Same thing on Friday. NVIDIA pops back, hits the 20-day. We'll see what happens. The fruit, Apple, lagging for once. Lagging? We'll see what happens here. Again, the more it pops, the more I want to short it. We'll see what happens here because there are some names that are going to be interessante. As you guys know, I am like drooling to short solar. And I'll show you again why. But here you go. Maybe 150. I mean, set your alarms. Know your area. Amazon, nice little poppy. Remember, we said it was not as crappy as some of the other names down at the lows. Look what happens. Pops up better. I mean, if you bought it at 112, got up to 123 today. Not too shabby for 2 days. 10% in Amazon. CRM. This one's interesting because it made new lows, but acting better. Interessante. Again, I probably would not have touched this. See what happens. But again, the whole market was due to bounce. Rising tide lifts all boats up. Remember, duh. Google made a new low, bouncing back. That's cool. 95 up to, we'll see. I mean, it probably gets back up to 105. Still, 10% moves, potential. Now just remember, some are acting better than others. Meta, leave it alone. Not acting good. Dead money. Microsoft, nice bounce up to 250 today. Look what happened Friday. Zoom Pow came right back. I mean, this one's tough. Remember, I will say this, as I always say with Microsoft, it has dollar exposure. If the dollar's going down, this one's getting more likely bought. Right? Keep that in mind. MicroStrategy, all right, Bitcoin bottomed. We talked about it. No doubt it pounces. People are like, oh, $60 and 2 points. Pff, that's nothing. I mean, how many days does it move 60 points, right? I mean, plenty of days it moves 60 points. Like the old MicroStrategy, right? 60-day, 60-point moves or nothing. Not surprised it bounced. See what happens. Maybe Kathy Wood's buying more. Who knows? If that's the case, probably a sell. Netflix, again, tech lagging. Holding up at the highs. Not necessarily bearish, but lagging. Roblox. Talked about, got the downgrade yesterday. Popped right back. Wow, you got to love the buddy pass. Pop, flop. We'll see what happens. Again, nowhere near the lows. Do you see this stuff? The stuff that's holding up better typically is not near the lows. We'll see what happens. Tesla buying Twitter, I guess. I don't know, man. Stupid. They're full of bots. Anyway, lagging, leave it alone. Not taking out the lows. Be careful. I forgot to do SMH. Said 200 was coming. Hey, hits the 20-day and 200. I still think you get up into 205s if the market holds up. Again, look at that action on Friday. A hammer. On low volume, look what happens. Pops right back. Let's get into my favorite, every video now I'm going to say, this is my favorite long-term sector. Tech. Just kidding. No, not even close to tech. It's going to be materials. Hopefully people get the joke. X. Talked about it holding 18. Bounces up to 22. Do the math on that. Pretty solid. 10%. Probably could get up to 22. Would not be surprised if the market keeps rallying because materials are leading. Not making new lows. Look at this. Nowhere close. This one, well, sorry, not nowhere close, but see like February lows? It's making higher lows. What the heck? Nice bounce. 105. 118. Maybe you could get up to 120. 20% in a couple days. Not too bad. Just like GDX. 20% in a couple days. Not too bad. Not too shabby. VALE. Talked about it yesterday. Things that aren't bearish. Look at that. Zip pow. Now it's popping up. I mean, 12 to 15 are almost solid move. Probably need to start taking some profits. CCJ. I mean, again, I think you have to short this stuff at some point. Or short tech. I mean, I'm probably not going to short CCJ, but even uranium. I said this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Coming back down. When they puke all this great trades up, they will absolutely puke them up. That's when we come in and it's like Daniel Day-Lewis from There Will Be Blood, and we drink their milkshake. We will take all of it. Every single share possible in commodities when they dump this stuff. I promise. It's going to be worth it. It's so exciting. It is so exciting. Anyway. I mean, if you wanted to short, I guess you could. Just, I don't know. I think there's going to be better stuff to short, personally. Arrow. Copper. Building up. Talked about it holding down here. Zing, 9 to 12. Not bad. Probably got a little more to go. Again, I don't anticipate the market turning over. Unless Credit Suisse says something. Credit Suisse says something. I think it'll hold up. CF. You're welcome. Bought this on the 100-day 2 days ago. Said, buy it around 97, 96. What was it? 90. What did I get? Okay, yeah, 96s. Not bad. Gonna get up to 105. Got up there today. Maybe gets up to 106. Congratulations. Mosaic. Looking solid. If you bought it down here, 47, 51. Maybe gets up to 54. Again, I think these have more upside because I think the biggest rumor mill possible is that tech has issues, chip gluts, things all that we talked about that would happen because they overbuilt. All of a sudden, demand dries up. Not so good. Again, I'm doing this live. If you have questions, I just don't think anything's really going to change at this point. Market's going up near term, and I mean near term, like super near term. All right, let's pop in real quick in XBI because I think, again, things that aren't bearish. We talked about this. Nowhere near the lows. Friday's low, not even that low. Pops. Divergences. Do y'all get this? Do you have questions? XLF said, hey, you got to hold 30. Hello. First resistance up at 32s. Not too shabby. Morgan Stanley. Things that aren't bearish, right? Not even close to the lows. Look at that action. Tight. Pops right back. JP Morgan. Piece of junk. No buyback. Makes a new low. Even bouncing. Things that aren't bearish. Okay? Please be safe out there. Now, again, I mean, these are names that I'm going to definitely short, but let me get you into the short Hall of Fame coming up because you're going to be legendary shorting solar. If you don't know solar's story, 2008, the tan, 3 hundo down to 50 in a couple months. 127 down to, 60s. That was just in COVID. I don't trust. Think about it, the psychology of what's going on. In a recession, nobody is putting solar panels on their house. Nobody. We really want to see it bounce to the 80 level. It's dojing up here. Started the first short in for solar today. Painting the picture, set up. It's crazy how I drew that and it fit in there. I said I want to see a chop. I want to see a fake breakout. Now, again, it doesn't have to be just one day. Could hold up because of new money, new quarter. People are like, oh, it's technically going to break out. Study the past. Hi-ho. 320 down to 85 last time. 134. Even COVID stuff. 126. This thing can get absolutely cut in half quickly. Now people are going to say, oh, government spending subsidies. Well, guess what? If the Republicans, who knows for sure, win the House, solar go bye-bye. The credits go bye-bye-bye. Nobody's going to be wanting to pay. Again, I mean, do you want to lease and spend hundreds of dollars a month to lower your energy bill to zero? It's a wash. It's an absolute wash. Again, maybe, and then again, this is the problem. You don't know if the technology you're buying turns into be like the floppy disk of solar, and then you got it on your house for 20 years. You're like, oh, brutal. No way. If it comes, the builder puts it on there, great. Buying it after the fact, unless you got it with all tax credits, which they're not doing anymore like they used to, that's the difference. Okay? Please be safe. Again, I'm telling you, layer in. I'm a third in. And so here's what, let me go through ENP and Sedge real quick. Man, this thing I thought was going to get up to 200 or 300. Not really doing it. Sedge, what a piece of junk, but it's bouncing. Doji. Like, even on the up days, people are selling. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm watching natural gas. Because obviously if gas and oil are going up, solar will probably get bought. Congratulations if you bought it down here in the 22s. We talked about it being a what? The bear trap, look below and fail, popping now what? Minimum 24s, possibly up to 26, 25, 26, maybe even 27. More you're up, unless you're going, the trade is really easy. Keep it simple. I think it's going higher, because why? We talked about if oil's going higher, wouldn't gas follow it back up? And look at that. It is. It's trying to. Again, thinking 90s on the oil. 90s. Low 90s. Oil's in the mid 80s, mid upper 80s. I can't remember exactly where it's at. Doesn't matter. XOP. People who are saying, I got to buy a drip. I'm like, you better not. Well, I said watch the 100-day, but guess what? The market's rising. Oil and gas service names do what? They rise too. Well, let's change this. Let's change it to watch the mid 140s. People always like, and what's sad is that people are like, oh, you have to short the 100-day. And it's like, well, hold on. If the market's ripping, do you want to short? Now, again, solar all day, every day. No, I'm just kidding. That's a trap. So, yes. But things that are rising and leading up, now people are going to say, oh, but First Solar's breaking out. I'm like, look at the whole sector. If this was Livermore, this is the one he goes after last. Every single time. If you know the Livermore trading strategy by picking off the leaders to laggards to leaders to laggards, the last leader will become ultimately a big dropper because everyone's trying to hide in it in solar. But back to point with oil and gas names. All right, if they're popping up, cool. Just don't, again, if the market's rising, I've said this, you got to be careful shorting oil and gas names. Because that's why I'm long them, actually. Because I think they're going higher. Near term. Remember, this is all like very short-dated stuff. ExxonMobil. Somebody, again, if you're in the Discord room, I can't believe you ghosted saying, oh, I'm short ExxonMobil. You're shorting it those 2 days. And you disappeared. Like, you didn't learn your lesson. Again, I'm wrong, too. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm just saying, like, please, when I'm wrong, I try to at least admit why, try to study it, try to talk about it. It's the people who make mistakes and they ghost and disappear. I'm like, you're not learning your mistakes. Again, everyone's wrong. Like, there's no perfect trader. There's no all these social media punks trying to be like, oh, we never lose. We're always making money. We're the best traders ever. It's like a bunch of suckers believe in that crap. Anyway, point being, what? I mean, I don't know. 95? 96? I mean, I think you can see that, like, there's some sort of trend line here. Do we need to, like, fake breakout it? You know, like, fake above it? Maybe. I don't know. Again, it feels like the market's going higher. Say buy 380. Might take it up another dollar or so. Just be careful. Added EQT to my trading longs. Look at this guy. Look at that. Getting added to the mid-cap ETF. Big volume. Not surprised it's leading. Look at that. 38 up to 45. Probably could go where? You see the volume at price. Y'all see it. You see it? You see it? Probably, let me just draw it in. Somewhere like that. I had some calls that I bought. Rolled them out. And I'm selling the calls that I'm up big on. I'm reducing my premium exposure. Because anything can happen. This could go to zero tomorrow. If the market tanked and Credit Suisse implodes. Does that make sense? Reducing risk. Keeping capital just in case. Did I forget anything? I think I forgot NDAQ. Someone will always remind me that I forgot something. Really, we had the trend to short it. Missed it. Again, mistakes. This guy makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Please, upper 60, like 61, upper 61s, 62, maybe 63. That'd be amazing. Okay, so recap. End of the story. Long gas, short solar, long commodities, taking profits the more they run up. Leave tech alone if you are in tech and you're trying to get back to even because you had some buys that you figure you would hold with stops, which I get it. Sometimes that happens. You're getting lucky. And I mean lucky meaning, you know what I mean? Like, it's coming back. Like, please don't try to all of a sudden be like, here, for example, let me just end it on this. Like, I mean, I bought Amazon, I think some calls like up here and then some up here or in this area. I think it was going to continue. I got stopped out. If I still held them and I got back up to almost even, I'm just gone. Again, there's a better trade, or guess what? You wait for what? The market to peak out and then short it. This is what's so hard about staying in losers. And I'm guilty of this. Everybody's going to make this mistake because sometimes our ego is above our intelligence. I mean, that's why trading's so hard. That's why I always like to explain to people. I'm like, if we didn't have egos and we all had like traded like computers, it'd be like, oh, I'm wrong, I'm gone. I'm wrong, I'm gone. But this is the thing. The evidence did not point to me to a market that was actually imploding. It was more of a pullback. How deep? You didn't know. Then it bear trapped. Well, now you zing right back up, right? Point being, long story short, if you had losers, you had things that you're getting back to even on, please do not try to hold them again because this is a trader's market. And if it goes against you again, shame on you. All right. Hit me up if you got any questions. Appreciate it. All the love, donations, support, likes. Telling you guys, please, if you're thinking about real estate, it is time to start the process to look. Not pull the trigger. Build the searches. Talk to a lender. Know what you can afford. Know what your rates are going to be. Because I'm telling you right now, in the winter, when inventory starts shorting up and there's less buyers because less people buy during the winter, right? People move during the school years. Very obvious. School year is what? August, September to what? May, June. That window between when the school year is going on, people don't want to move. And I'm telling you right now, there's going to be some houses that sit and sellers who are just going to take a bloodbath just because of the natural seasonality. This is when I actually always buy. Like, think about, like, we talk about seasonality of the market. Always this, always that, usually this. Time to buy houses is going to be this winter. I'm telling you. All right. Hit me up. You know what to do. If you're already in it and you need an agent, I'd love to help you find an agent wherever you're at for an investment property or get a referral. Again, if you don't know how referrals work, same thing when you click on Zillow, Redfin, any of these things. If you log in your information and they send you an agent, they take a 30% cut. I don't even take that much from the agents. I usually ask for 20 to 25% because, again, if you're bringing someone a buyer that's willing and able and pre-approved, they saved on their marketing budget. It's kind of like, acquisition cost of customer acquisition. Like if you're watching Shark Tank, they're like, oh yeah, my cost of acquisition is $9. I sell the product for $23. It's wholesale at 23, retail at 35. Like that's like their cost. Like there's like a little bit of a cost that potentially could come out of it. And if I benefited, I would really appreciate it. But then also too, you get 2 agents for 1. I will absolutely be there to answer any of your questions if you're involved in a real estate deal and I'm the referring agent. I promise that. All right. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.